Hey y'all, welcome back to Business from Scratch. I'm your host, Abby McGee. Today's guest is Sara Lloyd, founder and CEO of Upper Health, and her story is one I think a lot of us can relate to. She's building inside one of the most regulated, most complicated industries there is, healthcare. And all without insurance, without a traditional hospital system behind her, and from right here on the Carolina coast. We're talking about what it actually looks like to build a two-sided marketplace from scratch, navigate the legal structure of a medical business, and stay true to a mission when the stakes are people's health. So let's get into it. You're listening to Business from Scratch, the podcast for people building businesses they love without losing themselves along the way. I'm your host, Abby McGee. Let's get started. Welcome, Sara.
Thank you, Abby.
I'm so glad you're here.
Very glad to be here.
We've been trying to get you here for a minute, but you're very busy because you're doing so well. No, it's okay. And you're a mom and a wife. You have a lot going on. You're building a new business that's growing pretty quickly, I hear. So I'm very excited to talk to you about this. And you were the first person in the healthcare industry that's been on the show.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yes.
Well, that's an honor.
Yeah, I've had lots of like hospitality and finance and legal.
Okay.
And you're the first person in the healthcare industry. And I'm very excited.
I set the tone.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, like the healthcare industry like makes me mad all the time. So
every day.
Yes, I've been very interested in what you're building, and I've known you for a while. Met you kind of through a client of ours, and then we did a party for you.
All these events. You guys have been there for us again and again and again.
We did your like official launch party, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So I've known you for a while, but haven't ever gotten the chance to like fully sit down and get into what you're doing.
Yeah.
Although I watch you from a distance. So
it's exciting.
I'm very excited to talk to you, and I want you to kind of give me a little bit of a rundown on before you started Upper Health. Okay. What were you doing? Like what in the world made you decide that this is the industry you wanted to like dive headfirst into?
This enormous, just beast.
Yeah. Beast of a thing.
Yeah. So
healthcare is a beast.
It is a beast. Mm-hmm. We'll get into that, I'm sure, in a minute.
Yes.
But so I started my career as a personal trainer. So I used to work at O2 Fitness about 11 years ago.
Okay.
And so when I was doing training over there, I met a lot of folks who were using training as kind of their medical outlet, right, as a medical service. And so I went into it thinking, I'm going to have all these people who are here for weight loss and are here for strength training, right, or sports. And it just was not that way at all, which was really shocking. I was not expecting that. And the clientele I had actually always had some kind of major condition, some kind of disease. I had amputees. I mean, I had some really wild cases. Yes. And so when you get to know those clients in that industry, you start to understand fitness as medicine. Naturally, right? And so then the cost of training is also so expensive because it's seen as this luxury service. I ended up opening my first company, which was a nonprofit, where we raised money and provided charity care for fitness as medicine.
Okay.
To help people who had any kind of, medical condition get care that way. And so over the years, it just naturally grew and grew. We added the other modalities of care from nutrition to mental health to, massage therapy for pain relief. Like we were doing all kinds of natural things. And so that, I'll pause there, but that's what we were doing before.
So is that when your website says that Upper Health was born out of a charitable organization? That's the one you're talking about?
Yes.
And so what made you decide to go from being a nonprofit to being for-profit?
Great question. No one ever asks me that question. That's a good question. So at the nonprofit, we started getting inquiries from people who were not interested in financial aid. And so all these people who were actually of the upper class, it was really wild. We had people living in the country club neighborhoods calling us, asking for help. And we would ask them over the phone, this is a financial aid service at its core. So do you think that you would qualify for care? And they would tell us. They lived in Landfall. They lived in some of these really prominent communities. And they said, well, no. And we would ask, well, what can we do for you? How can we help you? Because that's what we do. And they would say, well, I just don't want pills and surgery, and I just don't know where else to go. And so suddenly there became this really big awakening, right? Or need for, it wasn't just a financial aid issue. It was just this industry. A natural hospital already exists, right? out in the world, but no one's ever put it together. It's in millions of pieces.
Right.
It's very isolated. And so
you have to kind of find your own way. Like if you want to go that route, there was no one place to go to say, I need help.
Correct.
You kind of have to like find this practitioner and that and ask your,
Correct. And you also don't, the general consumer does not know, which dietitian is really skilled with cancer and which dietitian is really skilled with cardiovascular diseases, right? And so you have all these professionals who have never identified themselves in almost what is the westernized departments. And so there needed to just be a really organized system that pulled all these resources together and then also created a streamlined process for the consumer to experience it and utilize it effectively, right? So you take an intake form and then you go from the intake form to getting your plan of care completely custom to what you have going on. We know who all those specialists are. We put your care team together. We deliver on that single plan of care, all in one interaction, phone calls, payments, scheduling, all of it. And you're now taken care of naturally first for the rest of the year.
How has that never been a thing before now?
I think, people are trying to do it, right? You have all these fitness centers opening who are bringing doctors in. A lot of places now are pushing GLP-1s too. Just people are trying to get into medical as a wellness industry. I think people are trying to do it all in one building. But the hard part is we as consumers already have providers we love everywhere. Right. And so I have a physical therapist I just love, and I would never leave him. He's the best PT I've ever met in my life. And I've met a lot of PTs. Right. So I'm not going to leave that PT, but then there might be this facility I use over here, bringing everything in house. And I'm like, well, that's great. And I want to use this one service you have over there, but I want to keep my PT. And so there just needed to be a streamlined process to bring all of these pre-existing places together to work together.
So you're not necessarily building a hospital, right? And
without walls.
So you're not building a hospital and staffing it with full-time, a full staff of practitioners and nurses and all of this stuff. You are a connector. Is what it sounds like. So you are providing a package of care. I can come to you and you can like go through my life and figure out what's going on and then send me to the right people to handle that.
Completely custom. And your payment, your scheduling, everything is all in one place. Your charting, everybody communicates with each other. And I would actually tell you, we don't build anything. We don't build real estate, right? We don't hire providers. Our nurses are contracted, right? Like everything we do is an already existing resource. So, yeah.
Okay. So you're not asking a nurse or a physician to leave their job and come work for you. They're doing this in addition to whatever their role is.
And they can go full-time. They can make it full-time if they want to.
Yeah.
I don't foresee them having any issues doing that. We just started doing it this way as well. So we'll see as that grows. But they can do both.
Are you currently just in this local area or have you branched out yet?
We have providers in Florida and a few other states. We get a lot of interest from Florida. But we're now, we had over 350 nurse inquiries come in 48 hours last week from across the country. So we're trying to rapidly expand nationally by 2027.
That's a lot.
We can do it.
Girl.
Okay. I shouldn't say within 2027.
Yeah, so you're giving yourself the whole of 2020.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you also decided to be no insurance, right? It's completely self-pay.
It's the only way we can do it.
So talk to me about that. How does that work financially? I have questions about if you're asking a patient to not have the buffer of insurance, how do you figure out your pricing for them to be able to afford it?
Do you want to get really nerdy?
Yeah.
Want me to get really nerdy?
Yeah.
Okay. So insurance is essentially, it's its own business model, obviously.
And it's a scam.
It is a scam. It's absolutely a scam. Okay. But they're also the sales strategy for the pharmaceutical industry. And I'll tell you how. Okay. So I only figured this out after my last investors update a year ago. I figured this out. But so you pay for an insurance premium, right? You pay for the policy, and it gives you the illusion, obviously, that your appointments are free, right? That they're complimentary. And so we know, as people who have traditionally gone to the doctors forever, that we go to our doctor, we don't pay for the appointment, potentially, if we have insurance. But then if you need a prescription, which you're always going to get pitched in those Western appointments, you still have to go to CVS or whatever pharmacy you choose to pick it up, and you're going to pay for that prescription when you get there, right? So you're always paying for the actual treatment itself. So what insurance does is give people this illusion. The appointment is free. It is a pitching opportunity. Whether the physician realizes it or not, I don't blame the doctors, by the way. I have to make that so clear. People often think that they're like the bad guys. I'm like, no, they're figuring this out too now.
Yeah.
But it gives the doctor the opportunity to pitch you the treatment plan that they were told is the best option, right? And so you're still going to pay for that treatment plan when you get to the drug pharmacy. At Upper, we, instead of trying to compete with that, made it completely irrelevant. We're going to make insurance in the payment process for that obsolete. We do need people to understand this part of it, but we made our intake form just to start the intake form, right? Completely free. We build our prospect an entire custom treatment plan for free. We have a nurse call them back to clinically review all of the recommendations for their condition for free. And you only pay when you actually agree to a treatment plan, just like you would in the traditional space. And so that barrier has eliminated. When people say, do you take insurance? We say, well, there's no payment.
Right.
You're not paying for an appointment to need to hear the recommendation. That's all you get when you go to the doctor, a recommendation.
Right.
They're not going to touch you and fix you that day.
Right.
They're not trained to do that.
Yeah. So the other day, like a month ago, I had to go have a mammogram, right? And I have had these regularly for years. And a few years ago, I didn't have insurance at all. And I went and I got a mammogram.
Good for you.
Yeah. I went and got a mammogram, and they gave me the self-pay price, and it was like a couple $100, right? So this time when I went, I had insurance.
Did you disclose it?
Yes.
And they binded you to that?
Yes. So they didn't give me the self-pay. They billed my insurance. My insurance paid what they would, and I got a bill for $490. So it cost me more. Because I have insurance than
and you
it
pay
did.
A premium.
And I pay a premium, a large premium every month. It's infuriating. That's why I said it's a scam.
It is a scam.
I know that there are people who have conditions and things that if they didn't have insurance, they would be bankrupt. Like, I get that. But for the normal person, for me, it cost me more to go and get care. Because I have insurance, and it's infuriating.
Part of it, it's not the core of it, but part of it is this brainwashing system where we have made people believe that their conditions and their diseases and things that they're experiencing are out of their control. And so there's an entire treatment option out there to control what's going on. But when we believe we don't have control over these conditions and we're completely dependent on someone else always having the answer, which is a pill, then we think we need things like insurance also, more and more and more. And we also convince people to just be scared. What if you get in a car accident?
Yeah.
How often are you getting in a car accident that this is running your life for $2,000 a month?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Really,
what you're spending.
Weigh those odds.
Yeah. So I went on your website a couple of times.
It changes all the time.
Yes, I'm sure it does. As your business changes, your website changes, and you're a relatively young company still.
It's me back there on WordPress.
Yeah, you're just trying to figure it out.
I'm like, I don't like that line anymore.
But I was looking at like your options, right? So you have packages that you're paying for that are way less than a insurance policy. Sure. So you are choosing a package that gets you a year of that kind of care.
Yeah. So you saw the basic plans page.
Right.
Yep. So those are just pre-built packages. They're options. A lot of folks will reach out to us because they do want. Now, I will tell you up front, I am not a person. I am the utmost naturalist. I'm not going to get my blood drawn for no reason.
Right.
I just don't want to, and I just don't believe in that for myself. But a lot of people do that. A lot of people are getting routine medical care, and they want their labs done every year. They want, a physical. They want all these things. And so we offer this annual package for people who do care for that. And that's fine, and that's great, and that's there for you. The bread and butter of what we truly do is custom plans because you already either have something going on where you feel unwell, you have symptoms that you're experiencing, you don't want the pills and the surgery, or we're about to launch our mother baby unit where, where it just, you got pregnant and you don't want traditional care for your pregnancy. And so that will be something that we can customize for patients too.
I also saw on there that a part of that customized plan is that you go to the patient's house and you like evaluate, are there things in your home that are making you feel the way you feel, which I imagine is, people just have all the, I'm sure that and I'm pretty aware, like I buy the natural things and I'm pretty aware of it, but I'm sure that there is stuff in my house that, you know,
well, nothing is by accident, right? Everything is predictable. Everything we do is predictable. And so have you ever read the book Atomic Habits?
No.
That's my favorite book in the world.
Okay.
This is so weird to me. So I had already designed Upper, I had opened Upper, and then I read this book, and this entire book is a blueprint of our company.
That we had already done. Great. That's awesome.
It is so interesting. It's by James Clear. It's great. Okay. But it talks about environmental design at its core. And so the concept of Upper when we initially opened really was that, let's say you're driving on a highway, right? There's all this construction. There's all this roads already made for you. And so you're not just going to drive off the road into a field, right? You're going to physically move in the direction already planned for you, right? And so now when we look at open space, right, we go to our home, there are patterns, right? There's essentially a traffic pattern with everything you do. You're being directed to things, right? And so specifically speaking to environmental design, your house has a design, whether you're aware of it or not, whether even the builder was aware of this or not, that drives you, he talks about this in the book, where if you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is use the bathroom, it might be because your bathroom's attached to your bedroom. Or if the first thing you do is make coffee, it might be because you have to walk through your kitchen to get to the bathroom, and so you make that stop first. And so we think that we decide a lot of the things that we do every day, but it's our habits, and people think they just don't have enough willpower. Well, you don't necessarily need better willpower. You need an environment that works in your favor, right? And so this environmental design is the going into the house and saying, where is your house taking you? Everything from product to hallways to where rooms are to how many windows do you have? Are you even opening the blinds, you know, and you feel down all the time? Well, it might be really dark in there. We look at all of that as part of environmental design.
I love it's such a different approach. I mean, there are people who are more aware of those kind of things than others, but it is just such a different approach to figuring out why you feel like shit.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like this? And so instead of just like making an appointment with your doctor and getting your, you know, what can you look at in your world to try and figure out what's happening?
So most people, I will tell you, don't grasp what I just explained to you, but you did, and it landed great. And so now I'm going to tell you higher up the concept of Upper. So when you go to the doctor and you get pitched that pill, that is a traffic design. It's just invisible, right? But you're being offered the first thing. It's just the organization of options. And so the first thing that doctor has been trained to offer you is a pill. And so the entire point of Upper is, what if the first thing you were offered was natural? It's natural first treatment. And so by reorganizing the order of options, you just changed what is truly the compound effect in someone's life for potentially forever.
Right. So you're not opposed to a prescription if it's needed, but it's just not the first thing you go to.
Correct. I call what we offer full stack care. We have prescribed patients things before. Our MD will step in and do that if that's necessary. And it's actually one of the biggest assets we have, because nobody wants two doctors.
Right.
They don't want to come to you for natural and go over here for pills. They don't want to be bothered with needing all those appointments. I want to know that I can come here, not be taken advantage of, have a natural first approach, right? Be directed the way I'm interested in being directed. And then if something really happens, something spiraled, I'm too late for a natural, of course that happens, right? I want to know that you're prepared for me still. And so we are.
Yeah. Do you find that the physicians and the nurses that are working with you are grateful for the opportunity to be able to approach things this way instead of like feeling pressured to do it the traditional way in their office?
I will tell you, it takes not only the stress of just feeling like they feel burnt out, like they're not helping people, right, in sick care anymore, obviously. I mean, that's the huge movement happening lately. It's also a lot less liability. The liability in medicine comes down to what they call side effects, right? The effects of drugs and surgeries and all these things. When you're so hands off, I mean, the most invasive thing you're going to do is a blood draw, right? And you're going to talk to a dietitian, you're going to learn about what's going on at the grocery store. You know, that's a lot less liability. And so they actually come to a much safer space to just practice by working with us. And that's a big deal for doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. How did you get your first clients when you first started?
Taking me way back.
Let's go back because like a lot of people have these big ideas, and what you're doing is a huge idea. It's not I made this hat that I want to sell. Like this is huge. So a lot of people have these big ideas.
Yeah.
But how do you actually like you start a thing, you have a dream, you figure out the logistics, you get open, you launch your website.
Well, it really was born out of the nonprofit. I mean, we tell people.
You already had people.
Well, so we were raising money and paying for the care, right? And I knew the providers in my space, right? I knew the other trainers. I knew the dietitians. I got to know them, right? Just from living, doing what I do. And so, gosh, I want to say our first customers were my former personal training clients who I just let know I was doing this. They were with me back then for the same reasons. I already knew about their medical history. And so I let them know it was an option, and they were like, oh my gosh, yes, done. And they came to us.
How were you said a few minutes ago that you had people start calling you that didn't qualify for the financial aid component of the nonprofit. How were they finding you?
Events. We would go do tents. I'll never forget. One of those landfall folks walked right up to me in the parking lot at Waterman's Brewing. Yeah, Waterman's Brewing. And when I told him what we did, he was so frustrated and so upset that he couldn't utilize the service. That killed me. Yeah. He actually made a face at me, like huffed at me, walked away. And I was like, and that really, I also didn't get into it because I just want to help people who didn't have money. Right. Right. Like it bothered me when people who had something going on couldn't use this treatment. And that the majority of the time back then was happening in my training career. And so it became financial. But that was not my core mission. I love doing that. I love seeing those people thrive. I can relate. But it's meant to help humanity. I don't care what your wallet looks like. Right. Don't care.
Yeah, well, and if you have all the money in the world, but you can't figure out how to get the help you need, then that person needs help too.
I'd say
that's a barrier.
You're not rich.
Right. You have a financial barrier. You don't have a financial barrier. You have an access barrier because you literally can't figure out what to do.
Yeah.
I get overwhelmed if I'm trying to figure out what, I'm almost 51. I cannot freaking believe that.
God bless. You look amazing.
Thank you. But I'm at that age where you start to feel like you have to test all the things and do all the things. And like, you're starting to feel things that you never felt. Okay. And like, you get overwhelmed because you're dealing with life too. And then you get online and you're like, oh my God, what do I do?
I'm going to go down so many rabbit holes. Do you want me to?
Yes.
Okay. So the wellness industry has also really, convinced people that they need to do so many things, right? Only when something really comes up should it be necessary that you start doing all this, right? But also it has convinced people it is their job to learn everything. You need to know everything about your body, and you need to know everything about this and everything about this. Before the camera started rolling, we were talking about accounting.
Right.
No one expects us to know everything about accounting just because we own the business. We outsource expertise. Right? And so why suddenly in this healthcare movement are we expecting every consumer to understand not just anatomy, physiology and biology and all of these things, right? But how a carrot impacts their genetic makeup, right? Like, how can you expect all these consumers to understand that? You should be able. It should be automatic that you can trust a clinical provider to be your source of expertise and actually take care of you. And so you have this huge wellness movement. You're expected to figure it out yourself. Well, I would tell you that's insane. That is completely insane. I don't have time for that. I have a baby.
Right.
I want to be a mom.
Yeah.
I want to outsource things to an expert that is literally their job.
Yeah. So right now, most people are outsourcing that expertise to traditional medicine, and they have
Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
and
gosh.
chat.
All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And chat can't do math. Watch out. Don't double check chat's math. You'll be really upset.
That's for sure. Yeah, they chat can get you in trouble so fast.
Yes.
And
Yep.
I can go down a rabbit hole there, but I do build some spreadsheets with Claude, but I love
Claude.
I don't ask it to write my emails and tell me how
No.
to answer a phone call.
No.
Lord God, help us, Jesus, with that. It's the worst. But please build me this spreadsheet.
Yeah,
I've had to fix Claude's spreadsheets though, because it's like they'll build this elaborate thing for me that has changed my life, right? And it saves me like hours every week. But then I'll see, well, that number is not right. It's literally not right. So I have to fix it. But
it's great for systems and templates, but you got to figure out your data.
Yes, 100%. You have to check behind Claude because
I'm too scared.
Smart
to
but dumb.
relinquish that.
Smart but dumb.
Yeah. Can't have it all, Abby. You can't have it all.
They're trying to tell us that you can't. Oh my God! Speaking of AI, and I saw an Instagram post yesterday from Tony Robbins. Mm-hmm. And I think he's great, and I've been to his stuff.
I already think I know what you're going to talk about.
He just posted about implanting into our brains AI.
Elon.
And how he's so excited about the possibility of being able to literally implant into our brains an AI. I got so mad.
There's a new saying. There's two types of people in the world. Those who prefer to live as robots and those who prefer to live as creatures. Mm-hmm. And so the future will completely separate those two parties.
Yeah.
And
it's happening real fast.
I'm a creature all day.
Oh, yes. For sure.
I will not be going to the robotic side.
No, I don't care if you could make yourself $1 billion today because you implant an AI into your brain. Absolutely not.
Not interested.
It's infuriating.
Yeah.
So I just feel like we more and more are just going down this artificial path in every way because it feels easier. It feels like the next thing to do, but it's...
Well, and the same people who are super upset about all the data centers, which I also am not a fan of the data center, but am in essence a hypocrite for saying that.
Because you use Claude.
Every single one of them are also using all those services to find out what to make for dinner tonight.
Yes.
They only need to build these data centers because everyone is leaning so hard on these chatbots.
Yeah. But I do also see this movement towards more humanness from a lot of people. Like, how can we...
We're seeing it.
Yes. How can we get in front of a person who we can trust? How can we get in front of a person and have an actual conversation? So that's what I'm looking for more now and fighting for it.
When I go into investor meetings on this subject, I get asked all the time, who's your competition, right? Because they just want to see that I know who else is doing anything even remotely similar. I will tell you, no one's doing what we're doing. We're figuring this thing out from scratch every day, what we're building. But I have to tell them the companies that are using AI to be your doctor, right, in these lab apps and things like that. I guess they can be a competitor, but where it's all not true or accurate is that I don't believe, this is my contrary belief, I do not believe AI will replace doctors. People don't want AI to be their doctor. AI will step in after the conversation with a real person happens. Maybe it'll evaluate the charts, right? Maybe it'll analyze data after a real person has done your visits. But our key differentiator, actually, speaking of AI, is that we are not replacing your providers with AI. We don't even use it actually at all right now, besides maybe a spreadsheet.
Yeah, building a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Do you anticipate implementing AI into your logistical plan in some way?
The only thing I would personally have interest in using it for is efficiency, to automate process, not to automate care.
Right.
Care
not to create a plan of care too.
That is, well, here's the other thing too. Here's what AI can't do. And here's what's really being overlooked, which is shocking to me in these companies. A really skilled provider, this is freaky. I don't know if you've ever heard about this, but it's a skill set. Really good doctors and providers can look at you physically in person in an appointment, ask you questions, and they, without even telling you, they can smell what disease you have.
Whoa.
I mean, you can smell things like renal failure. You can see cirrhosis of the liver in the complexion of your skin on your face. I'll never forget. I was actually at an event with my partner one day, and somebody came up to us and was talking to us for a while, and they walked away, and she is a very skilled provider, very high up in the health system she works at in her other life. And they walked away, and she said, he has cirrhosis of the liver. I was like, what? And she was like, he will not be around for very long. He's an alcoholic. And it wasn't because he smelled like alcohol. It wasn't because he was drinking. It wasn't any of that. She gave me all the pinpoints physically. And so when you remove the provider from the picture, the amount of things that go undetected that AI will not be able to do, it cannot smell you. It cannot. I mean, it probably will be able to detect imaging types of things, but there's just a lot. I mean, tone and voice, inflection and voice that changes, telling someone whether you're lying or not, or whether there's a family issue versus what you're actually telling me is going on, or all those social emotional skill sets are that of a great provider. Yeah. It's also the reason we incentivize in-person care at Upper for that reason.
Yeah, I think it's so smart, and I think that's what people want.
AI can't do that.
Yeah.
Not right now.
This episode is brought to you by Salt and Charm. We're a catering and events company based right here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and we've been feeding this community for a while now. We offer full-service catering for weddings, corporate events, and private dinners, the kind of food and hospitality that makes people stop mid-conversation and say, wait, what was that? We also offer meal prep delivery and pickup because it turns out the people who hire us for their celebrations also want someone to handle Tuesday night dinner. And honestly, same. If you're planning an event or you're just tired of figuring out what's for dinner, we would love to be your people. Find us at saltandcharm.co or on Instagram at saltandcharm. And just for our listeners here on the podcast, use code podcast for 10% off your next meal prep purchase. Another question.
Okay.
What if somebody on their bedside table at their house has 15 prescriptions already? They're fully embedded into the traditional medical model. They have lots of things going on in their body that they have been treated for years. Yeah. What does it look like for them to come to Upper and find a different path? Like, are you seeing people that are coming in with that scenario on their bedside table that they are able to like find a different path?
That's actually our patient profile, because the people coming to us are looking to get off of their prescriptions. So my first question to you would be, do you trust the primary care provider that you're seeing? Do you want to keep seeing them? Do you want to be on these prescriptions? What would be the answer to that? Right. So we start there. And then if you're open to changing providers or being an advocate for yourself actively at that provider at the same time, we've got to start doing what's called describing you from these drugs, right? And so we actually launched a project last year called Project Descript through the nonprofit, where we started paying for tens and tens of thousands of dollars for people to come off their drugs through the nonprofit and financial aid. And so we're doing that. It does take getting the collaboration and the willingness of the prescribing provider to work with us on that and to work with the patient on that and to be open to it. Most of them do want that. Some people are dirty and don't, and they need you living on that. So they can go home and live right in their mansions. But if you're open to a new path, the specialists in our system, you have to look at them as a mirror of the specialists in the Western system. So for example, in Western medicine, you have ENT, right? Ear, nose, throat, those kinds of folks. Well, in the natural space, there is an alternative to that provider, and that would be myofunctional therapy, right? Where they also work on the sinus cavities, right? And ear, nose, and throat, and breathing, and tongue, and jaw, and all these kinds of things, but it's not drug and it's not invasive. So it looks pretty different, right? And it's a much different practice in that appointment. So you actually start changing out who the specialists are mirrored with that industry. I mentioned earlier, you've got in Western medicine, they've organized Western medicine into departments, right? So you have cardiovascular and you have oncology and you have, and they categorize it by disease almost, right? Or part of the body. You've got endocrinology. Okay, well, in the natural industry, They just license groups of people and don't tell them what their specialty is. So they license groups of dietitians, and they license groups of chiropractors, and they license groups of physical therapists, but they let them decide what condition they're going to be in, but they're not classified in any special way. And so the consumer is running around super lost and doesn't know. One of the enormous benefits of Upper is that we know, we categorize, we classify which department that person in a sea of them should be in. Like I mentioned earlier, a dietitian is going to specialize in cancer. You're not going to know that. There's no sign on their building, but we know that because we do that research and talk to them and then list it out and organize it in our system. So that's pretty much how we do help those patients. I mean, we get a patient every day on drugs, all kinds of different drugs, post-surgery, right? Pre-surgery, it doesn't matter. The point is you're unwell and you're looking to switch, and that's exactly what we do.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine that there are many people out there that aren't on something, that most people have been prescribed something.
Most people are on an average of 6 prescriptions.
That is crazy.
Per day.
That's
you
crazy.
Can believe that. Yeah.
I do believe it. I do believe it because I've seen it. It's wild to me.
Our intake forms would make your stomach turn.
It's crazy.
And they're also so unnecessary.
And it's probably those things have been prescribed by multiple doctors who aren't.
Exactly.
Yes, it's in your records, but are they really? Nobody's talking to each other about a holistic plan for this person.
Oh, wait, you just said a big word. You said holistic. Can I tell you how they're transforming that in medicine? What they're doing with that word? You know what that word means in Western medicine now?
What?
A pill for every problem.
What?
Holistic in Western medicine literally means
like whole. They're looking at it like that.
One of the executives of Lilly, the pharmaceutical company, just created also, I already knew about it, but then I saw this enormous post he put up on LinkedIn all about how the best holistic medicine is that we need to be prescribing the right drug for every system in the body. And then you've treated the person wholly.
Oh, my Lord
and
God.
Holistically. I swear to God, I wish I was making that up.
That is crazy.
So they took this word that was really being used for what is, the wellness industry, right? Or the natural industry. And now they're even using wellness in the drug space. That's a drug word too now.
Yeah, of course it is.
Well, they're just going to take all of it because sales, right, is marketing, is language, is psychology. Peter Thiel tells you science and data run the world. Well, Peter Thiel is wrong, okay? Language and communication run the world. You can make anything mean anything if you can convince people to believe it.
It's so true.
It is true.
It is true. And
I'll die on that hill.
And we don't know enough. We don't know enough on our own to be able to see through the sea of BS, right? Like we just take what we're given and we do what you're told. We do what we're told.
That's your traffic pattern. That is the invisible design that everybody up here running the puppet strings has made for the whole population, and the whole thing needs to get rebuilt and completely redesigned. We're just going to build our own. Does this answer the question though?
Yes.
Does that answer your question? Yeah. It's just being open to the mirrored versions of those providers and being willing to attempt to describe from the drugs. Now, I will also tell you it is important for patients to understand, this is the last thing, I don't want to keep you too long.
No, you're fine.
It is very important that patients understand that their prescriptions are a decision, right? It is a personal decision to say yes to a drug. And that's hard for people to swallow sometimes. It really is, because you want to believe in what this professional, this expert you've depended on and what they're telling you, right? But whether you stay on that drug or not, whether you ever take it, whether you stay on it, and whether you come off of it was never their decision. It was a recommendation, right? And so it's getting the person, we tell our patients this, it's getting you to a place of confidence that you decide when you stop your drugs, and don't ever lose that freedom in your mind. You are not chained to anything. It is not the law that you take this drug.
Yeah.
But people feel that it is.
They do. They feel like they don't have a choice, and they're just gonna. They don't know better, so they're gonna trust the doctor.
That's exactly what the system wanted.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice, just like vaccines, all of it. Oh, don't get me started on a new one.
Okay. All right. I love it.
Makes me
This is a
nuts.
rabbit hole that you could talk about forever and
But
ever.
it's literally why it's one of the biggest problems in the world.
It is. It is.
One of the biggest investment firms in the world wrote an article called The Biggest Company in the World, and they don't even know it. And they outlined everything about Upper to become one of the biggest companies in the world. It's one of the biggest problems humanity faces internationally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you do need to go after the big fish investors.
We will.
It's time.
I gotta find the ones I like.
Yeah.
I don't like you. You ain't coming.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I got no problem saying no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah,
So-
you can take somebody's money, but if they're going to run you into the ground,
Yeah,
it's not worth it. So let's talk some numbers if you're up for it.
sure. I'll do my best.
Tell us when did you switch from nonprofit to for-profit?
2021.
Okay, so
Well, we still have the nonprofit. They're two different
Right.
companies.
Yes. Well, that's great. I think that's fantastic. So
Yeah,
you've
we
been
added.
5 years with the for-profit
Yep.
arm of your business. How many clients do you have right now?
A few hundred.
That's
I haven't
awesome.
counted. Yeah.
Who are all doing the packages that you have, or are they doing
varies.
the plan of care?
It varies. Yeah. I mean, a package is essentially like an annually repeating
Mm-hmm.
service, your annual labs, things like that. Actually, majority of people are doing custom plans.
Yeah.
We strategically be there when you already don't feel well or have symptoms and you're about to be in a vulnerable position medically. And we offer the natural first, and that's going to be custom.
You know, a lot of people think that if you start a business, you're going to be profitable from day one or in your first year.
hilarious.
And that's rare. That is very rare.
Oh my gosh.
Like you just figure out all the things you don't know in your first 5 years and you
Yeah.
lose a bunch of money, you invest a bunch of money. And then
Yes.
you're like, okay, I've learned enough lessons that I can now make some money.
Yeah, we're definitely entering that point right now.
That's great.
Somebody was telling me the other day that we should go raise again because we are hot. The plate is hot. And I've been considering.
Do your current investors, are they people that you can go back to and say, look at what's happening? Do y'all want to put more? Do you want to
Yes.
get more involved?
Yes. However, 80 to 90% of our investors are local small angels. My next move would be to go after a few million. I wouldn't go I wouldn't go for another small angel round. We'd go do a heavy raise if we were going to do it again.
Well, it sounds like you're on the right trajectory.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
I want to talk about the human side of you as a business owner, because you're
The creature.
Yes, the creature, side of you.
Yep.
You are in an industry where people's health outcomes are, why you're in this business, right? But there's also a weight to that. How do you handle the pressure of that, knowing that you're building something that is responsible for whether people feel good or
For their
not,
lives.
for their lives?
Someday we will get into major and emergency care.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
that's
how do you
future.
handle the pressure of that?
I run really fast. No, in a not ego way. I mean, just like I have to do HIIT workouts. I mean, it's
As a pressure
painful.
valve.
Yeah, I mean, it's painful to chew on sometimes because you are dealing with clinical issues throughout the day. Even though I'm not the provider, I have to hear about liabilities or things that are going on. Financially, always nerve-wracking, very nerve-wracking. Yeah, I mean, I work out pretty seriously. I do eat very clean. I know if a little too much caffeine is going to spike my stress, and it does. And so I
don't want to know about that.
I'm regimented.
Don't tell me about caffeine and stress. I know I don't want to know.
I mean, I love caffeine. Caffeine's good for you to a point, right? But I know what triggers me to get worse. And I stay away from those things. I have to because I won't sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, I turn into that wired, crazy person down in my living room at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, working on anything that came up that I could. Yeah. So it's hard.
It is.
I probably don't have it nailed down.
Well, the fact that you know that it's an issue and you're doing things like, I wish that I was more disciplined about when I'm stressed, just go out. I have a gym in my backyard that I just built out last year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like why I wish I was better about utilizing that when I feel stressed out, and I would just go throw some heavy things around for a minute and I would feel better. But
and my joke about running fast is like, I literally do sprints because the sprint is such a release. So I love doing that. But I love walking. I walk religiously multiple times a day. I have a dog to walk that gives me, the excuse to do it. But even without her, I'm out there walking it off, thinking, I mean, maybe I do handle it fine. I don't know. You have to have an outlet. Everyone has stress, right? And so pretending it's not there is just kind of insane.
Yeah.
But I've been in a state where we're getting so busy and growing so quickly. I mean, even from an employee perspective, I mean, we had 350 nurses reach out to us with interest nationally in those 48 hours just last week. Like, that was a lot, on top of all the new business obstacles that are coming and scale issues with all the customers that are coming with that, right? And I found myself not in a state of panic, but in a state of rush where everything suddenly felt urgent. Some things were. And so I had to sit back and remind myself, this is when you have to be the most level-headed, cool, calm, collected, unwavering, right? And so I'm learning now how to just handle problems slowly. I've never done that before.
Other than the 350 nurses that reached out and you're hiring quickly in the provider sector, what do you think your next hire is on the administrative side? A CPA?
She already knows me. Yes. Yeah. We definitely need somebody who's going to scale us in accounting. And now we have to track the commissions for what could be just thousands of nurses here soon.
Yeah.
So that's going to get to be a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm going to need somebody really skilled for that.
Okay.
It's probably the next move. I originally would have said software, but probably does need to be finance.
Yeah. Well, I think I said this before we started recording, that a good accountant and CPA will help you channel your resources in a way where you will have more abundance in your business and can be able to invest in software and all of the things that you need to keep growing wildly like you are.
Yeah. Yeah, that is probably what we'll do.
Well, I can't wait to hear about it.
Well, I'm going to point to you when I do find
I can't wait to hear about like how much that opened up for you, because I think when you get to the place you are now where you're growing so fast and you either figure out how to grow successfully or you will bury yourself, right? And you start to strategically hire people who are smarter than you in all these areas so that you can, I mean, you are so good at communicating the vision and the heart of this business that like
I didn't used to be.
Oh, you're so good at it, and like that's what you need to be doing.
Stop, Abby.
Yay! You don't need to be buried in your receipts and like and commissions, right? That needs to be somebody else who knows what they're doing, so that you can do what you're doing right now and communicating the vision and heart of this business.
I have struggled with communicating it for so many years. You actually just really made me feel like I've hit a milestone that I didn't think I hit yet.
Well, I would have never guessed that you struggle with that, because you're very good at it.
I feel like we would just be in the hundreds of millions already if I could communicate it the way it runs through my brain. If I could translate what happens in my head in real time. We might have been.
Well, I think you're there.
National
so
3 years ago. Well, thank you.
I think you're
Maybe
there.
that's why it's working now. Who knows?
Yeah, just like get out of the weeds of the stuff that you shouldn't be handling.
Well, this is the first time I've delegated some of the really big stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
Probably helping.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for you. I have some like rapid fire questions to wrap this up.
Okay.
What's the first business that you ever ran?
That I ever ran? My nonprofit.
Okay. So before that, you always worked for other people. Did you ever have a lemonade stand?
Nannied. I nannied. So if you want to count that, I've been watching kids and babies since I was 14 years old at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, very serious. Mom woke me up at 3, 4 in the morning, drove me to the next town, dropped me off.
Oh, Lord.
14 years old, babysitting.
Bless.
Yeah, all day.
I think I know the answer to this one, just from like teasing out our conversation already. Are you a spreadsheet girl or a gut feeling girl?
If I'm going to make a final decision and do something in the business, I'm definitely going to put it in a spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
You're not going to make a decision based on your gut. I was wrong about that. I would have said you were a gut feeling girl.
Well, so I'm definitely an intuitive person, but I don't know. I would consider myself, the visionary side of the company or the creative side of the company, but people probably underestimate how calculated I really am. I'm pretty calculated. I know when it's time to jump. Yeah, and I do not jump before.
Yeah, well, jumping with information in your backpack is the best way to jump.
I get a lot of information before I jump.
That's great.
Yeah.
What's the business advice that you constantly hear that you think is wrong?
I just reposted something the other day that said, business is not about doing what you love. It's about how much of a shit sandwich you can eat every single day and not bitch about it.
Yeah. That is so true.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah. Gosh, business advice I think is wrong. I hear a lot of things about failure. I mean, obviously things happen, things fail, but I'm mildly insane. And
insane and calculated.
Yeah, insane and calculated. And I have a firm belief the only form of failure is quitting. I know every soup kitchen in town before I'm going to starve. I mean, you're not getting me out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. That is like entrepreneurship at its core. Like you have to have that mindset or don't bother.
Oh, here's one.
Okay.
There's a lot of talk in, especially in the investment ring, like high up, VC, private equity, all that. Don't run out of money. Run out of money, run out of business. Well, that's nuts. I've run out of money like 5 times. I'm still here. I'm still swinging, baby. Like you can't gas me.
Yeah.
I mean, I will find ways to make more money. The money helps you make more money. It does not close your business.
Right.
I mean, even if you had to lay off, not that I would ever want to do this. I mean, it's obviously the last thing you ever want to have to do is business. But let's just say in the worst case scenario, you're just trying to survive. And you had to lay off 100% of your staff. Well, that doesn't mean that business is closed.
Right.
There's a lot of things I can do with no staff.
Yeah.
I missed payroll. It ain't over, baby.
So true.
By the way, I'll see you next week because I'm going to find the money and you're coming back. There's just no, you're just not taking me out.
That's what I have run out of money so many times too.
Yeah, I think that's a wild thing people say.
Yeah, I think it's pretty normal for for business owners to, unless you just have you come from family that has unlimited resources, but most of us are bootstrapping, figuring out every day.
Every single day.
And one day you've got a stack of money in the bank and the next day there's nothing in the bank.
Right.
And what are you going to do? And
I've seen that. Yeah. We've gone from thousands and tens of thousands to dollars.
Yes.
I mean, been there, done that. Does it scare me? Sure.
It's terrifying.
It's a healthy stress.
Yes.
It's a stress you need to keep going and to wake up and get off your ass and get out there and sell. Yeah. Right? But close my business? Yeah. You're going to have to cuff me first. I know. And even then, we'll run it from whatever. I'm not, just.
Well, that's the difference in people who make it and don't. That's the difference in businesses that fold and succeed. How long can you stick it out?
Those people were probably also in it for the money. Because if you run out of money and you think it's over without money, well, then you were there for the money.
Right.
I ain't in it for the money.
Yeah.
Money is a great tool. But that is not.
Yeah.
That's not why this thing was born.
Yeah.
And it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. And my last question, I think, what's the best investment so far that you've made in the business?
My nurses. Hands down. My staff and my people. They are just unbelievable. At this point, I can't even imagine the company without them. That's my, not fear, but that's my new biggest obsession. Just how do we grow? And they don't even have to be just upper clinical staff, independent doctors or doctors who already exist, in big health systems. How do we make them part of this? They are just the drivers and they're the folks people trust. I mean, there is not medical care without skilled providers. I don't care what anybody says. And I mean on the front lines.
Yeah.
I don't just mean, all the specialty care, of course, vital. That's your team. But driving the vehicle for upper is going to be that frontline clinical staff. They're the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the mindset that we should all have in our business. I know that my best investment that I've ever made in my business is my team.
Your people.
My people. I mean, because we wouldn't be a thing without them.
No, I point to them all day, every day. Yeah. They're it.
Yeah. So hire the right people and then invest in them.
I'll do anything to keep them.
Invest in them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's been times that we don't have money, right? And I'm like, we got to find money because I'm throwing this person a bonus right now. I don't care. Take it out of my pocket.
Yeah.
This person's getting something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they just deserve it.
Yeah.
They just
valuable.
deserve it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
You can.
Everywhere.
I hide. I just told someone the other day, I think this is a Reid Hoffman quote, but I love it. And it's me too. I'm an extrovert of 6 people or less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same.
I hide a lot.
Yeah. Well, not where can they find you personally?
Okay.
Don't give out your home address.
Yeah.
Where can they find out about what you do and how to get involved?
Sure. So, I mean, they can go to our website, upper.health, but we are also integrating our clinical staff into as many of our fitness center partners as we can. So go to any fitness center and you could potentially find information about Upper there. You can see our providers there.
Which fitness centers in Wilmington are you in?
In or are in network with us. There's 2 ways we work with them.
Don't you have like actual like clinical space in some
we do.
of the...
Yep. So we're inside of Anytime Fitness.
Okay.
That's an amazing partner of ours.
Mm-hmm.
We just upfitted one of their office spaces as a clinic in Pine Valley.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do that at some point with the new center location. We have been seeing YMCA members at the Y, O2 members at O2. We've done F45 pop-ups for labs outside of their facilities. But we'll keep reaching out to partners. We're pushing into a yoga studio locally here soon. Port City Power Yoga has invited us to operate clinically on site there. Yeah. So we're just going to keep pushing into as many places as will have us.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I am so inspired by you.
Oh, thanks, Abby. Same. You are impressive.
So
Look at this. Oh, you should be so proud on top of all the other businesses. My gosh.
I am proud of all of my people and how far we've come. And
we're sitting here because of our people. Right?
That is 100% true.
Yeah.
But
that is true.
I'm very excited for you, and I can't wait to see where
Thanks,
Upper
Abby.
goes, because I feel like you've got the heart and the drive and the right reasons behind it. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think so too. We're gonna do good.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining me on Business from Scratch. Follow the show for more honest conversations about building a business that works for you.